Hi, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you details of the brand new microprovider network that we're building here in Portsmouth. I'm going to be sharing with you the what, the why, and the how. What is it? What is a microprovider? Why should you care? What's in it for you? And how can you get involved? And also how the Q&A sessions work when you come online to see us live on one of our webinars. So I'm Stephen Knight. I am a microprovider champion, a project officer based at Portsmouth, the Portsmouth City Council's Adult Care Services. And this is my credential and my badge. I wanted to share with you that before I joined Portsmouth City Council, I've been an unpaid carer for my amazing mum, that's mum over there, for over 16 years. I help manage a personal care team, of which I also play a part in supporting her throughout the whole week. And unfortunately now mum has received a dementia diagnosis. She's living with dementia. And I wanted to share with you how one of her micro providers and also the care team has really transformed her care. Now, what we found is that for someone like my mum, who doesn't speak any English, agency care can be less than ideal. Because she doesn't speak the language and they don't speak Chinese, that means there's a communication issue. There wasn't any flexibility in meeting her cultural needs. So what she's really looking for is a personal care team that can help her with some meal preparation and also companionship to make sure that she's not socially isolated. And this is where I want to share with you that one provider really changed everything, not only for her, but also for us as her immediate family. She's a lot happier, she's a lot more confident, and it's really that human match, the personal touch that makes care or support for someone that is person focused and flexes around their personal needs. How one carer really changed everything for my mum. What I really struggled with is finding them shouldn't be this hard. This is why I'm so passionate about the microprovider network that we're building here in Portsmouth. So you might ask, what the heck is a microprovider? Well, a microprovider is a term that you may not be familiar with, but you might have heard of the term self-employed personal assistant. So whether it's a self-employed personal assistant or a microprovider, it's the same type of person. It's just different names that means the same title. So what is a microprovider? A microprovider is a small business, typically of one person that is running that business, and so therefore they are a self-employed individual working for themselves. They are delivering personal support directly to people in their community. It's a bit like hiring your neighbor to help you with the type of support and care that you're seeking. And it's outside of a traditional care agency structure. That means that it's less to do of task-based and time-based requirements. So what's involved? Well, it could be both help at home or help outside. It's a pick and mix of services that you may be seeking or microproviders might be offering. So let's talk about help at home. It could be for meal preparation or shopping, decluttering, companionship, even admin services. Maybe you're struggling to be able to communicate with maybe your broadband provider and you're needing somebody just to give you that reassurance or that helping hand. And help outside, well, there's gardening. There may be appointment companionship, someone to take you down to the GP because maybe you're struggling in that area, or maybe some walking companion. And maybe if you have a pet, then you can double down and not only go for a walk, enjoy that sunshine outside, getting that exercise, but also if you had a pet, you could walk the pet as well as taking someone out for a trip outside, enjoying that fresh air. Now, often people say that personal care is one area that I don't particularly want to do or I don't feel comfortable, which might involve dressing or washing. And if that's the case, it does not preclude you from becoming a microprovider. In fact, if you choose that you don't want to offer personal care, you don't have to. For those who do want to offer personal care, there are additional considerations which we can go into more detail on the actual online session. So with that in mind, let's just provide an example of a range of services, maybe helping someone at home. And this is where I think about what is it that makes you unique? Well, it could be that instead of just speaking English, where I speak English, but I also speak another language as well. In this case, Cantonese Chinese. You might be a foreign language speaker. And so for someone who doesn't speak English, finding someone like you might just be simply amazing. Combining that with maybe a walking companion that is somebody that speaks your language who takes you out so that you can get that fresh air, that in itself is truly amazing and so difficult to find. So now imagine if you combine that with maybe walking the pad as well. That's a double bubble, a double win. And it doesn't have to be the case. It could be a selection, a pick and mix of maybe someone who speaks a foreign language, taking you for a walk, that maybe help out with some meal preparation. And what I wanted to do is to give you an example of how people are really transforming that care. So what's in it for you? I think more importantly is, what is the opportunity? Well, you often hear that social care is broken. It's very complex, which because of that situation, there is a huge demand for those services. And it's that demand that really is the potential for the opportunity of you becoming a micro provider. So let's actually break that down. So you might have heard of agency care versus that of a micro provider. So what is the differences? Well, agency care, it tends to be quite rigid, time-based. It could be task-based, whereas microproviders are a lot more flexible. It's somebody who's giving you personal-centered care, flexing around your requirements, or your mum's requirements, or your grandpa's requirements. With agency care, it might be the same agency, but different person every day. Now, for someone like my mum who's living with dementia, that can be a real struggle. Imagine a long line of strangers turning up at her door and she doesn't recognize who they are, versus the same person that turns up on a daily basis. You're building a long lasting relationship, someone that you know, like, and trust. And let's take the example of meal preparation. For an agency, they might come in, maybe make a sandwich, a cup of tea before they have to leave, because it's task-based and it's time-based. Whereas somebody that's coming in for meal preparation, they can involve the person with the requirement for meal preparation to be more flexible. Maybe it's a low sodium diet. Maybe it's a particular type of ingredient which they're allergic to. Or it might be involving them in actually making that meal, so that there's somebody who's making it, but also having the conversation with you. And imagine that person sitting down and sharing that meal with you, taking the time to really enjoy that activity or that service with you. And let's not forget about cost. Typically, agency costs start anywhere from £25 and above, whereas microproviders, typically here in Portsmouth, at the time of recording, the guidance is between £18 and £21. So there's a difference in cost. So let's just recap. Microprovider is the personalized touch. It's someone who's flexible. It's the same person that turns up every day, so it's really familiar, taking the time to build that long-lasting relationship. And typically what we find with microproviders is they start with one service, then it leads to something else. So it might be meal preparation, and then as you're building that relationship, someone says to you, do you think you can help me with a bit of decluttering? Or maybe you could take me out to do some shopping, or maybe take me out for a walk, just get some of that fresh air. One service, it tends to lead to another. So why would you might want to become a microprovider? Well, at the moment, you're going to be addressing that vital gap in local care. That is offering people a lot more choice. The continuity, that's people-centered, and that support that makes it so much more personal, so much more with the personal touch. And microproviders, because you are self-employed, you are running your own business, it can be flexible around you. What I mean by that is you choose when you want to work. You choose who you want to work for, or who you want to provide those services to. And you also decide what services you want to offer. So really the flexibility to fit around your working week. And of course, microproviders, they also set their own rates. So if you're starting out, the guidance is here in Portsmouth between £18 to £21. But if you're a lot more established, maybe you've been someone who's been a carer or in that support role for many years, then your rates might be a little bit different. And I often say it's a bit like a driving instructor. Somebody out of driving instructor school is going to be charging a different rate to someone who's been doing that for 25 years and is very, very established. So why would you want to become a microprovider? In your current role, you can leverage your skill sets and your experience, and leveraging that skill set, it means that you're doing something or providing a service that leads to satisfaction. I mean, so many people that we have met now, what they do, they actually love doing that. That sense of the sense of satisfaction of helping somebody that's in need, and also the flexibility to fit around your working day. And not only that, most important, here in Portsmouth, there is support that we are offering to help you become a microprovider. And that leads us nicely onto the micro-providers cohort or workshops that we run. We run these on a monthly basis, and we split the workshop out into two particular areas. One is practical support. So that might be, as you're considering whether a micro-provider is for you, that it would be wonderful if there was a micro-provider guide that you can read so that all the information is in one place. We will provide that for you. Not only that, we have had many requests for training in terms of courses. Well, if you complete the micro-provider workshop and complete the checks to set yourself up on our register as a micro-provider, we will provide complimentary access to online training courses. At this moment, you might be a little bit unsure about CQC and CQC qualification. That's not a problem. Bring all of your questions or any of the things which don't really make sense to our in-person webinars, and also the workshop. We'll go over that in much more detail, make sure that there's clarity. And then when you set up your business, wouldn't it be ideal if there were some templates and contracts out of the box that you can use to adapt for your business? We will provide all the support for you. And that's the practical set of tools. But of course, there's also the entrepreneurial skill sets. What do I mean by that? They often say the phrase, the skill set without the mindset can leave you upset. You've got to make sure that the mindset is in the right place. So when you're starting out, it may be that at the moment you could be quite lonely, you could be quite isolated. That's why by coming along to the workshop, it's really, really valuable. It's invaluable that there is peer networking. These are other people that are going through a similar journey to you, maybe at different stages, but where you can provide the support and to feel that you are in a good place and a community that's supportive. Within the workshop, we will provide you with all of the guidance to get your essential documents in place so that the essential documents have already been qualified. Not only that, that you will set yourself up as a professional micro-provider. And that is all leading towards networking to finding your first or next micro-provider customer. So with that in mind, everything we're doing here is to help you set up for success. That is what the micro-provider cohort and workshop is designed to do. A 3-hour in-person training and guidance session specifically for you with other people in the room on a similar journey. So what does that look like? Well, we have monthly workshops, and at the time of this video that you're seeing, all of the schedules will be shared with you, either on a page so you can book yourself on. Now, typically with all of these workshops, they are held at the Portsmouth Career Centre. That's what we have an arrangement with them, typically on a Thursday between 1 to 4. Now, of course, that might change, but the bit that doesn't change is that this is a 3-hour in-person interactive workshop where we are working with you, we are co-designing it with you. It is very much a two-way process. And always with these types of workshops, it is a first-come, first-served basis. We have limited seats. After the seats are filled, then you've got to wait for the next monthly workshop session. So with that in mind, there will be a booking link when you basically go to the workshop dates where you can book and confirm yourself. And once you've done that, once you've got a confirmation of a space or a seat, it will unlock a next level set of resources which are available for you so that you can consume that at your own convenience at a time that suits before you come to the actual workshop itself. That way, when you come to attend the workshops, you've got great questions of which we can help you with those answers. Everything designed to set you up for success. Now, if you weren't aware of, we have a Portsmouth Carers and Personal Assistance Facebook group. It's the PCPA group, and it's really helping connect care jobs together. Here's a QR code. Feel free to use one of these to scan that, and you can join. And I'm part of that group as well as many other carers here in Portsmouth. So here's a Q&A session. Why have we decided to share this video ahead of time? Because you can watch this at your own pace. What we want to do is for you to have understood what it is the micro-providers program and the network we are building, so that once you consume that content and information ahead of time, and then you can bring your burning questions to the Lunch and Learn session so we can really focus on the things that matter to you most. So with that in mind, I'm hoping you really enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in person on the Lunch and Learn session. Until then, take care for now.